on an issue this important to the most disadvantaged kids in New York City.
It was really amazing to be there, to see him speak so passionately, and we did feel that we were alone. We have a mayor in the city of New York who says he's a progressive on the one hand, but wants to deny poor kids in Harlem an opportunity, a shot at life. And so it was...
I mean, and what about the great irony that this is a guy, and Mika is a big supporter of Bill de Blasio's idea of pre-K. What he's talking about doing for kids, poor kids, and pre-K.
And we're for pre-K.
Right, of course. But
what happens after they're 4?
Yeah, why do you stop supporting the most disadvantaged kids at 4? What good does it do if you do that till they're 4 and then shut school choices to their parents?
I mean, look, this is the highest. Bill de Blasio wants to shut down the highest performing school in the state of New York in math in 5th grade.
Say that again.
The highest performing school. It's Harlem Central. We've had these kids since kindergarten. They're amazing children. I was with them yesterday. He has announced that that school is closing down.
Okay, I want to underline this again. Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York, wants to shut down the highest performing school when it comes to math for what, 5th graders?
5th graders, correct.
That's
and it's
stunning.
not that he wants to, he did. He announced Thursday afternoon that those kids would be educationally homeless.
And Mike, this is, de Blasio said this in the campaign, talking about Ms. Moskowitz. Yeah, she has to stop being tolerated, enabled, supported. So this is not about the kids. This is a personal vindictive attack. So the highest performing school in the state of New York in 5th grade math, and it's in Harlem, is being shut down.
Well, 2 questions. A, is it being shut down, or is it the mayor saying you've got to get out of the city building that it's in because you're not paying rent?
Yeah, no one should say
That's one question. The second question is, what is the root of this seemingly personal animosity between you and the mayor? Or do you know?
I mean, look, he is evicting us in New York City, and in fact, across the state from Buffalo to the South Bronx. Facilities is the name of the game. You cannot educate children if you do not have a building. And we are a public school, and we think we have a right to either be in a building or get facilities funding, which we do not get. In terms of your second question, I can't really answer it. You know, I believe that we should teach tolerance, so for a mayoral candidate to say that someone shouldn't be tolerated is a bit bizarre. But look, his team is kind of the working families, the teachers union, ACORN, and these are the policies, the anti-charter policies that have been pushed for the last decade or so. When we opened our first school in Harlem, on 118th Street, the teachers union opposed that. They have sued us now 18 times to stop us from opening. You would think in a city and a state and the nation that has an educational crisis of monumental proportions, we would welcome alternatives that have high performance. But instead, a so-called progressive mayor, and make no mistake, it is not progressive to disenfranchise poor minority kids who want a shot at the American dream.
Well, and the bigger question is, why do you evict from the school the highest performing students in 5th grade? If it's working, build on that.
In addition to that, the other point is, the school is evicted, the kids are evicted. What usage is the building put to? Does it remain empty? More likely than not.
And by the way, Bill Gates, the Gates Foundation, a lot of people have spent billions of dollars trying to crack the code, trying to figure out how you help the most disadvantaged students of color and of all colors. How do you help them get a better education? And we've seen failure after failure after failure after failure. So when you have the highest performing 5th grade class in math, is evicting them from a building when it's working really the solution because of personal animosity? This is outrageous. And I will go for, I'll say something else. It's immoral. It's immoral. And anybody that's been up to Harlem and has seen what's happened up there with schools and some of the hope that some of these kids and families are getting, would agree with me. Willie, I'm not associating you with my remarks at all, but your mother has worked up there for a long time. You've seen it, you've heard about it like us firsthand.
Yeah, no, there's no question, and we said this yesterday, they're not all as successful as yours. Not all charter schools are runaway success stories. Yours certainly have been. I think it's important to explain to people as we talk about charter schools what a charter school even is, because some people paint them as trying to put public schools out of business, as sort of this alternative. What is your vision of what a charter school is? Because I also don't think people understand it's a public school at the end of the day.
Absolutely. A charter school, it's really simple. It's free from the bureaucracy. You have the freedom to get it right. It takes a lot of executional competence to get it right. And in terms of cracking the code, that's what we set out to do. Not only offer world-class education, but find a way to educate kids at a very, very high level on, you know, the public dollar alone. And we are self-sustaining on the public dollar alone by year 3 of our operation.
It's a public school.
It is a public school. We are publicly funded. We are publicly regulated. We are publicly authorized.
Who are the teachers?
Our teachers are traditionally certified teachers who are very talented, who are willing to do what it takes, admittedly. We do pay them 30% more, approximately, than the district, but they work harder. And performance...
The day's longer?
The day is longer. We do invest...
School on Saturday?
Some Saturdays. We do invest in our teachers. In terms of cracking the code, there's an underinvestment in professional training for teachers, and we train our teachers 13 weeks a year. We are essentially running a K-12. We would do pre-K if we were allowed to. We are essentially running a K-12 and a teacher education school, because we give that much training to our teachers and principals.
And the parents, how do they get the kids into the school?
It's a random lottery school. We don't know who they are, and we have, last year we had 13,000 apply for only 2,000 seats. And the most heartbreaking thing, as the mother of 3 children and as an educator, is to turn away parents who want a great
and we all saw, Mika, Davis Guggenheim's extraordinary documentary showing how heartbroken
that was incredible.
disadvantaged parents are when the city literally, and I'll just say it, when a lot of teachers union leaders literally work around the clock to shut the schoolhouse doors on some of the poorest and most disadvantaged children, not only in New York, but in America. And I've got to say, I still don't understand why.
No, they're crestfallen to watch those parents in action when that happens, and they know that their children's futures will not be as good. And that's the bigger issue. And the question of how do all kids get access to a good education, a good one that sets them off into a good path. And you have a situation in New York City where that doesn't happen across the board. And unless there's a good idea as to how to fix that across the board, I'm not sure why they would take success and kill it.
That's what we want. This is not just about Success Academy or the charter sector. We want this country to get out of the educational crisis it's in. And China and India are leaps and bounds ahead of us. And if we do not figure out how to do this at a higher level, this country is not going to be the great country that it has always been.
So if this goes through, if your 3 schools do not get the space in the public schools, do you have a contingency plan? What happens to these kids?
I don't, but we're not going to let them be evicted. We're not going to let them just be sent back to failing schools. We love these children. We know them very personally, very well, and that's just not who we are. So I don't have a plan B, because I was never expecting in my wildest dreams that the mayor of the city of New York, a so-called progressive, would throw children in Harlem out on the street.
So Eva, why is he doing this? I mean, we all obviously, it doesn't, talking about cracking the code, it's not tough to figure out that we're all in support of your successful charter schools. And Mika, of course, again, very supportive of Mayor de Blasio. A lot of people here have been supportive of Mayor de Blasio, but we really are flummoxed. Why is he doing this? Why do you think he's doing this? To your students, not to you, to your students.
You know, I don't really have an explanation. It seems bad for kids. It seems bad politics. I don't really have an explanation. People have put forward that there's some sort of personal thing that he has. We served in the council together. it's not personal for me. He seems like a perfectly lovely person. I don't really have an explanation.
Yeah, well, he doesn't think the same of you for some reason.
Well,
I don't know why.
It's personal for him.
It is very personal for him.
She has to stop being tolerated, enabled, and supported. There is no way in hell that Eva Moskowitz should get free
Her
rent.
salary has been brought up in all
Isn't
this.
that amazing that he's talking about a political foe who doesn't even consider him a political foe instead of talking about the kids?
I'm waiting for
They're
her.
not evicting her.
I'm waiting for her to say.
They're not evicting her from her home. They're not hurting her children. They're hurting students, the most disadvantaged students in New York City, who, by the way, are performing better in 5th grade math than students in Scarsdale, New York, and students from the richest, whitest suburbs in the Empire State. And he's throwing that down the drain. It's disgusting.
I'm waiting for you to say, bless his heart.
She's not Southern.
Nope, she hasn't said it.
If she was
Okay.
Southern, she'd say that. Wow.
The founder of the Success Academy Charter Schools, Eva Moskowitz. Thank you. Bring some of the kids in. Love to meet them.
Yeah,
Love
we
to.
would love to meet
They
them.
are rock stars.
I'd love to meet some of them.
Good. Well,
Later this morning, we'll work on that. We're going to be conducting live interviews to replace Bill Cairns.
No,
You think
thank
we should do
God.
that?
Wow,
Yeah,
we
I think.
really should.
I don't
You
know
know,
if you've met
gotta
Bill
say,
Cairns
the
or
math
watched him, but we're going to be making some
Finally caught up.
changes.
He's doing well.
He's doing well.
He's making a lot of money.
You know what? We
Math
need
pays, apparently.
to move in a different direction. That's often what you say, you know?
Okay.
So we have the managing editor of the Weather Channel joining us, Sam Champion.
Oh, thank God.
He's going to come here and help us out.
I guess
Up
Bill's
next,
tough.
new polls analyzing Hillary Clinton's image, how her latest numbers compare with 2008.
Yeah.
Morning Joe will be
Oh, there you say.
right.
Yeah. Hey,
He
Phil
doesn't know yet.
Phil wants to
He
talk
doesn't
to you,
know
Phil.
yet. He's just
Let's go down to his office into
you
the
know,
hall.
yeah.
Yeah. Not even looking at him.